3 weeks ago, everyone was looking at this loan and thinking, wait, is Endrick about to get lost in Europe? He played just 99 minutes under Xabi Alonso in the first half of the 25-26 season, but now, in a handful of matches, something has changed. Endrick is not just adapting, he is starting to dominate, and by the end of this video, you'll see why his resurgence might shake up European football in 2026 and why Real Madrid fans might be regretting letting him leave. Before we even talk Lyon, we got to take it all the way back because Endrick isn't just a young talent, he is the talent.
He looks fantastic, to be honest. He looks quick, he looks skillful, he knows how to move into the box. He's very aware about the players around and looking for the movements of the players. And when he's near the box, well, he showed another goal for him. I think he scored twice in the last 2 games, but it's 2 goals in 4 games for Brazil. He's only 17 years old, so very impressive.
Com o Endrick, tentou botar na frente o menino. Que lance do Endrick pro Breno Lopes! Na cara do gol, ele dá toque sutil!
After nearly signing for Sao Paulo FC, an 11-year-old Endrick joins the famous renowned Palmeiras Academy, and at 11 years old, after 5 seasons, he smashes 165 youth goals in 169 games. This was Endrick building his mythos before he even made his pro debut, but the final hurdle he had to pass came in the 2022 Copinha tournament where he bagged 8 goals in 7 matches to be voted the player of the tournament. That run delivered Palmeiras' first title at that level and caught the eyes of major European scouts. It wasn't long after that moment, at 16 years old, 2 months and 16 days, Endrick becomes the youngest player in Palmeiras history to play in the first team. And a few weeks later, he bags his first professional brace against Atletico Paranaense, making him the second youngest scorer in Serie A history. By the end of 2022, Endrick became a title winner at 16 years old. And from that moment on, the entire world knew a new star was ready to rise. And Europe's biggest giants weren't going to let this opportunity pass. Chelsea were the first club to make their approach for Endrick, enticing the player but backing away at the asking price. But Real Madrid, a club known for its history, a club that's immortalized the greatest players on this planet, and they know exactly who's the superstar and who isn't. And like that, Real Madrid agree a €60 million move for Endrick before he's even turned 18. For Endrick at this stage of his career, it felt like he's been following this immortalized script. His story has been written before him, before he even arrived, and all he has to do is just follow along. But as we all know, achieving your destiny doesn't come with hurdles to jump over. In July 2024, Endrick had finally arrived at the Bernabeu, the moment he had waited for his entire career. He wasn't nervous for this moment. He was ready. He's been ready his entire life. And against Real Valladolid, Endrick showed the entire world he was ready for Real Madrid by scoring on his debut. And that was then followed by him scoring his first Champions League goal against Stuttgart. By the time the 24-25 season had ended, Endrick bagged 5 goals in the Copa del Rey, and on paper, it seemed like he was getting set up to become Real Madrid's next number 9. But football isn't played on paper, and when Kylian Mbappe arrived, this was the brutal awakening for Endrick. Real Madrid is not a nursery, it's not come learn your craft. Real Madrid is win now and be ready. And with Carlo Ancelotti leaving Real Madrid, Endrick had no one to hold his hands anymore, with Xabi Alonso replacing him and making Kylian Mbappe the center point of his master plan. Injuries had not helped Endrick at that time, as he suffered a hamstring tendon injury that sidelined him for 2 months. But to make matters worse, by the time he got back to the team, he'd been replaced by another young protege in Gonzalo Garcia, who became the breakout star for Madrid during the Club World Cup. And like that, Endrick was becoming a forgotten figure. Mbappe was the ready-made superstar right now that Endrick just couldn't touch, and Alonso was giving opportunities to a different kid at Real Madrid. Though this was not supposed to be how Endrick's Real Madrid dream played out. The criticisms were growing louder around Endrick, with many football fans criticizing his move to Real Madrid with accusations that he made the move too soon. He wasn't good enough for Real Madrid. He wasn't good enough for his grand ambitions, with fears that he becomes another Brazilian wonderkid that was more hype and less bite. So it was decided Endrick was gonna get his loan move out of Real Madrid. Tons of clubs showed interest, but in the end, Madrid, Endrick and his camp decided it was best for him to go to Ligue 1, and a 1 million loan fee was agreed with Lyon. Now, Lyon wasn't just some random escape. This was a proper club with proper ambitions, proper pressure, with a history of introducing and blooding some of the best strikers and players in the game. And you can't tell me that Endrick wasn't thinking about Karim Benzema's career rise as he kickstarted life at Lyon first. For Endrick, this loan was the moment that he'd been waiting for. He wants to play, he wants to develop, he wants to make sure that not only does he have a successful season, but he finds himself in that Brazil national team squad for this summer's World Cup. He was joining Lyon at the perfect time, with the French club beginning a winter surge under Paulo Fonseca, and they saw Endrick as the missing piece. The expectations were enormous. Prove that you can carry this Lyon team on your back, and at the same time, prepare for the day that you eventually partner Mbappe. The adaptation was going to take some grit. Ligue 1 is known for its physicality. Defenders are going to kick you, tug you, wrestle you. Yeah, this is where being starved of minutes in Madrid helped him, because Endrick was playing with a fire in his belly. He pressed like a man possessed. He fought for every ball. He showcased his unreal strength for his stature, and he was constantly playing with purpose and that point to prove. Fonseca realized that he had a serious talent on his hands and started to tweak Lyon's system to give him more space to operate in and play, whilst protecting him by having an experienced midfield of Florentin Tolisso and Tyler Morton, who could find him early in the transition. Slowly but surely, Endrick's confidence was returning, and what an unreal, explosive start to life that he's had at Lyon. And on the 11th of January 2026, less than a week after joining, Endrick comes off the bench in the Coupe de France against Lille, and with the score level near half-time, he goes at the back post to finish Tolisso's flick on, sealing a 2-1 win for Lyon. It was a kind of predatory, poaching goal that made him famous at Palmeiras, and it was the perfect way to answer the critics that he couldn't score in Europe. That was a nice taster of what to expect from Endrick, so when he made his first full game debut against Brest, all eyes were on him, and Endrick, well, this kid loves the attention. Now, Endrick doesn't score, but he provides the assist that wins the game, but in this game, he was an ever-present monster, making the most chances with 5, the most dribbles with 9, the most duels won with 13, and this earned him his first Man of the Match award. The momentum was building and building and building, and it exploded against Metz when Endrick bags his first hat-trick in Europe. He scores his first goal in the 11th minute after getting on the end of a Tolisso long ball, and just before halftime, he outpaces the Metz defense and slides in a left-footed shot between the keeper's legs, and later in the game, after having a goal ruled offside already, he wins the penalty, and he's then encouraged by his Lyon teammates to take it and to step up to the spot, and Endrick, he dutifully replies. 4 goals and 1 assist in his first 3 games, that's Endrick doing what Endrick does best. So the expectations against Lille next were out of this world. However, Endrick doesn't score or even get an assist. Lyon earned a hard-fought win against Lille. They had no midfield. Endrick was feeling the physicality of the French league, but he still pressed, he still worked hard for the team, and he still constantly drew fouls and took pressure away from his teammates. Now Endrick's getting regular access to minutes. You're seeing the exciting potential this kid has always had, and people are getting excited, and it's not because of his goals. It's the vibe, man. The fans are buzzing, the team has belief in, the entire club feels re-energized. Even Lyon's social media presence is going to ridiculous levels, all because of one 19-year-old kid. Lyon now find themselves in European places, and there's talks of them even chasing a potential top 3. Even when Endrick misses, the crowd cheers because they can see the intent. On the 4th of February 2026, Lyon take on Stade Lavallois in the Coupe de France, with Endrick starring yet again, scoring a missile that sends Lyon into the quarterfinals of the Coupe de France with a goal that would have made Adriano shed a tear in pride. It was a goal that was out of this world. Around the 80th minute, Endrick collects the loose ball 25 yards out, skips past one defender and unleashes an unstoppable left-footed shot that almost blows the entire net off. Endrick's ball striking mechanics are definitely one of the most unique strikes in the game right now, just as his celebrations are also up to par. His celebrations express Endrick's emotions, whilst also looking cool as hell. That's now 5 goals and 1 assist in his last 5 games. This Lyon loan move is looking absolutely inspired. So the question is, what happens next when Endrick finishes his loan spell? Rumors are suggesting that Chelsea might come back in for the player to take advantage of Real Madrid's indecision, but Endrick has already committed to staying at Real Madrid as he wants to become a success at his dream club. But the reality is, Madrid's attacking depth is still out of this world. Mbappe, Vinny Jr., Jude Bellingham, Rodrigo, Arda Güler. Talks that Nico Paz is set to return back. But the reality is, Mbappe Mbappe can't play every single game, and Madrid's second top scorer only has 7 goals. Madrid need to decide whether he comes back to be rotation or he gets another loan move to continue his development. Lyon would obviously love to keep him, and they've already hinted at extending his loan. Meanwhile, the football world is starting to appreciate the mindset he's showing: hunger, fearlessness, willingness to press, working for the team, and all the intangibles that you wouldn't even apply to a guy known for his attacking ability. For Endrick, the challenge is to maintain his consistency. League and defenders will continue to target him as he becomes a high-profile figure, and the physical toll is naturally going to build up. But one thing that's happening at Lyon that might do wonders for his Real Madrid career is the fact that he's finding game time playing on the right side as an inside forward. And that just happens to be the main position that Madrid are hoping to improve upon in the summer window. Could Real Madrid use a front three of Vinny Jr. on the left side, Mbappe up front, and Endrick on the right hand side? That's going to scare defenses forever, and that could be the second new gen recoming of Messi, Neymar, and Luis Suarez. So I want to know, you guys, were Real Madrid wrong to loan out Endrick, or is this the best decision in his career right now? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now, and if you enjoy these breakdowns, subscribe to Nini FC, hit that bell notification button, and don't miss out on our next deep dive into football's emerging stories.